Hey, aloha gang, Dr. Russ Rosen here. And just to give you context, today is what, April 23rd, 2020. Things are changing all the time, so I'm just giving you context in case you look at this and say, well, that was goofy. You know, things changed. So is what it is. I want to apologize. Three things up front. Number one, it's been a while since my last video. I've been really busy. I've done written and done several webinars and CE courses that I've recorded because there's so much going on. I'm just trying to reach out and help as many docs as I can. Also, I'm not going to edit this. Again, I just don't have time. I'm in between calls right now, and so if I pick my nose, you know, that's what we'll all see. And the last piece of it is the length of this. This is going to be a bit of a long one because I got a lot that I want to go over with you that I think is really going to help you out. Usually I try and break them up into smaller ones, but it is what it is. So look, I want to share with you some things that I'm seeing really work with my coaching clients right now. And I want to start off kind of talking about the types of conversations that I would recommend that you have with your patients right now. Now, whether you're in practice or you're not, you're locked out, when you do get back, you're going to start to have conversations with your patients. If you are in your practice, I can't recommend enough that you start having these conversations right now. You've possibly seen other videos where I talked about a gut check, that for so many of us, it was just a gut check when the pandemic hit. You know, did you have more people cancel than you'd hoped? You know, did you recognize that they didn't value your care as much as you hoped that they did? I literally just got off the phone with a doc who's just saying, man, I was blown away. 50% of my practice just canceled right then and there. They had no idea about optimal health, you know? So again, real gut check for a lot of us. If you did have more cancellations and you're not having as many people in as you would hope, then you need to bridge the gap, you know, the gap between what they think is you can help me with neck pain, back pain, and headaches. And what you know is you can help them get healthy and stay healthy for a lifetime. And if you don't bridge that gap, things like this happen and they're gone, right? So if you recognize your numbers are down, if you recognize that your patients really don't get it, then these are the kinds of conversations I'm going to recommend that you have. If you have not been to the on-demand program that we have, where we go into the incredible importance of the neuroscience of communications and why you want to ask Socratic questions, then please go to the ohcsystem.com/yes webinar, or the ohcsystem.com/yes webinar. It's 75 minutes out of your life. It's not 50 minutes of good content and 25 minutes of me trying to sell you something. It's 75 minutes of great content. That's what it is. So I can't recommend enough that you do that. You'll get a better understanding of the Socratic questions, etc. So the kinds of questions, the kind of conversations that I'm recommending that we have with our patients right now, like, here's a great question. If you're in, like, I know in California right now, a lot of docs that I coach in California, you know, we're just moving towards peak. They keep saying that you're going to hit the peak kind of thing. And so one of the questions is, are you getting pressure from home not to come in? Because we're having a lot of people that are saying, you know, they've been coming in, now they're saying, you know, I got to be honest, I had pressure, so I'm canceling my appointments. But don't wait till they've canceled it. Start to have that question, right? You know, deal with that up front. Another really good question is, are you concerned about getting it? Are you concerned about getting COVID-19? It's going to really change the conversation if they say not at all. Well, why not? Right? Start to get a better understanding of their thought process, and do they really understand your whole premise? Or is it, yeah, I got to be honest, I'm pretty concerned. So those are really important questions to have. Now, again, if you haven't been through that course yet, just understand, I can't tell you anything. That's the problem. I hear it all the time. I tell them over and over and over again, and they just don't get it. They ask me the same questions. They complain about the same things. Well, what does that tell us? They didn't get it. And they didn't get it because you're telling them. We have to learn how to ask the right questions. So again, all these things that I'm going to recommend, these conversations are based on the right questions. So if they are concerned, um, let them vent, right? I talk about clarify the problem. The solution will become self-evident, but ask them, why are they concerned? Let them go for it. I don't want to get it. I'm at high risk. I don't want to pass it on to my spouse, right? You know, different things, but just address it and acknowledge it so they feel heard. Um, Another really great question that I'm trying to get my docs to ask is, so let me ask you a question. Have you ever been like at work or in school and somebody comes in and they're sick and they cough all day long, and then some people get sick and some people don't? Have you ever noticed that? And they'll say, well, sure. You know, are you noticing right now they're talking about that a good percentage of the population that has the antibody right now never knew they had it. They never even knew they had it, but they were exposed and their body did its thing, and there are people who are dying. So why is that? Now, I want you to see the difference between me telling you this and me asking you this, right? If I say, hey, I want to let you know that the host's immune system is the real issue, blah, 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 it's just gone. It's not getting past the reptilian brain into the neocortex for thinking and reasoning. But if I ask you that, you have to do this. Well, I guess it has to do with the person and their overall health or their immune system, right? So bing, that went up into the neocortex for thinking and reasoning. Now we're opening up a conversation to go into a new belief system. Another great question that I really like is, so let me ask you this, you know, obviously have the question about host, right? That it's critical that they understand the immune system is the real issue. You can take COVID-19, you can inject it into a dead body and nothing will happen, right? It's the host's response. That's what it is. So talk about the host, talk about the immune system. Another great question, and I've kind of coined this term, I like it a lot because I like playing on words and I'm a goofy guy, is, so would you like to be a bad host? You know, would you like to be a bad host for bugs, COVID-19? Sure I would. Well, then what kind of things do you think you need to do? Well, what do you mean? Well, okay, well, like we need to build what? Well, need to build my immune system. Well, okay, so let's start with this for a minute. You tell me what might deplete your immune system. Now, I want you to get the difference between having a handout and saying, I want to show you, these are the things that deplete your immune system. These are things that you should be doing. Make sure you keep coming in and get your family checked, right? That's what we were all taught. It doesn't work, all right? So you tell me, what do you think depletes your immune system? Let them talk about it. Do have a handout that you can use as a visual aid for them. So they might talk about sugar. They might talk about lack of sleep. They might talk about poor diet. They might talk about not enough exercise. Help them through that, but make sure you talk about three things. One, stress. We know stress depletes the immune system. Google it. There's tons of research on that. Pain reduces the immune system. Google it. You'll see that's not a question. Those things happen. And subluxations. Subluxations absolutely affect the immune system. Now, those are three things that I need to make sure that they understand. Because then I'm going to ask them, all right, so look, if those are the things that deplete the immune system, what kind of things do you think would build the immune system? Again, I got it on the handout right here, so we can kind of go through it. But in essence, I'm going to say do less of the bad stuff, get them to say do less of the bad stuff and more of the good stuff. And what would be more of the good stuff? Eat better, exercise, deal with stress, and of course, get adjusted. Here's another great question, and obviously you don't have to have this entire conversation with every single person every time, although in your practice right now, you may have the time to do that, right? But these are just the kinds of things we could start to have conversations about. So let me ask you a question. What does your nervous system control? Or what does your nervous system influence? Well, look, if you're coaching with me, your patients absolutely know it. They've said the whole story out loud. They understand, you know, the whole chiropractic premise. But and again, I go into great detail about all of that in that on-demand program. But so just ask them, what do you think the nervous system does for a living? What does it control? Everything. Absolutely. I'm with you. So let me ask you this. Does that everything include your overall health and well-being? Remember, we just talked about being a bad host is by being strong, having a strong immune system, being one of the people that doesn't get real sick. That would be our goal, right? So let me ask you a question. When you Does your nervous system include overall health and well-being? Yeah. All right. Let me ask you this. Do you ever feel better after you come in and get adjusted? Yeah. Stand taller? Yep. Breathe deeper? Yeah. Feel more ease? Yeah. Do you ever feel healthier? Yep. Do you feel less pain? Now, I know a lot of us, that's not our main focus, but in this conversation, because we just talked about pain depletes the immune system, right? And I want to be a bad host, meaning I want high immune system. See the connection here? Right? These are Socratic questions. I'm walking them through and connecting the dots to shift their consciousness, to shift their paradigm. Do you ever feel less stressed after an adjustment? You see how that connects, leading to better immune system? And we're not lecturing them. Listen, when you come in and we adjust you, because they don't get it. We're just asking Socratic questions. So let me ask you this. Does the nervous system also include or control or influence your immune system? Does the nervous system control or influence your immune system? Ask them what they think, right? They're going to say yes. Now, we had sent out the ICA document on the research showing that chiropractic care affects the immune system. And I'm sure you've watched all kinds of videos. Dr. Klum and Dr. Murphy and Heidi Harvick and James Chestnut and Dr. Oberstein, and lots of great videos going on out there. But here's what we know for sure. Is there research that shows that the chiropractic adjustment affects the mechanical system? Yes. The mechanical system affects the sympathetic system. Yes. The sympathetic system affects the immune system. Yes. That adjustments affect the host's health. Absolutely. But what we don't have is research saying chiropractic adjustments help you with COVID-19. That's what we don't have research on, right? We don't have that kind of thing. So, what you don't want to be saying is we can cure your COVID-19, we can prevent COVID-19, we can reduce your symptoms, we can decrease the chance of you getting sick. We can't say that because we don't have research on that. Now, Dr. Chestnut was talking about that, is it okay to have conversations like this, connecting the dots for them? We have tons of research. Chiropractic affects mechanical effects, sympathetic effects, immune. Do we have, yeah, in that ICA document shows T cells and interleukins and all that kind of stuff. Am I suggesting talk about that? I'm not. I'm just saying affects immune system. So what Dr. Chestnut talks about is that to talk to your patients about it, it just requires biologic plausibility. So we got biologic plausibility. There is research on that subject. Okay, but what you don't want to say is, and therefore COVID-19. Let them connect the dots. I got no problem saying, look, there's a ton of research showing that chiropractic adjustments affects the immune system, and there's none showing that it helps with COVID-19. But does it make sense that right now it'd be a good idea to make sure your nervous system is functioning at its optimum? Right? Those are the kinds of questions I think we want to be asking. And again, from my perspective, chiropractic is not about treating anything. It's not about treating back pain or neck pain or headaches or COVID-19 or the immune system. It's about removing the nerve interference, showing them ways not to recreate it so they can have the best life possible. But I do want to connect the dots for them. Again, in that on-demand program, when you get to touch, tell, ask, teach, and the whole story, you're going to see how to get your patients to fully understand this in a very, very short period of time. All right, so here's some other questions. You tell me, why would you want to get adjusted specifically at this time? Right, again, specifically if they were saying, I am concerned about being exposed to COVID-19, then why would you want to get adjusted at this time? You can see with this conversation, they're going to go, keep my nervous system functioning at its optimum, help my immune system be at its best so I can be a bad host. So if I do get exposed, I have the best chance of having the best response. Wouldn't that be a great thing for them to understand? Right? So odds are, I promise, well, look, it's going to happen. They're going to say, yeah, makes sense. Let's get the nervous system working at its optimum. So what do you think you should do right now? And again, hold up your little handout that you got from what I should do. Less of the bad stuff, more of the good stuff. I should be getting adjusted. Absolutely. So think about this. What other question could you ask them right now? Think about it. There's a million. The one I would look at is family and friends. Right? Look, do you have family and friends that you care a whole lot about? Okay. How do we get them to understand this? Right? I think it's a really, really, really important conversation. Other things that I've been talking to my doctors about, I hope that that helps you, is helping them understand why you're here for them right now. You know, Homeland Security deems us essential. Now, I'm going to assume, I haven't read anything, but I'm going to assume that it's, you know, anything to take stress off the hospitals is why they're doing that. You know, you're in pain, you're not seeing us, and you end up in the hospital, and they don't want that. I wish it was that they understand that we help people get healthy and stay healthy, but I know that that's not true because we don't live in Russ's land of make believe. Um, but you know, help them understand that you've been deemed essential, right? Let them know that you're doing everything in your power to be here for you right now, you and your friends. And here's what we're doing it to make it as safe as possible for you right now. Keep reminding them. I've sent out videos on making videos and contacting and calling your patients and letting them know, you know, how can I help, and helping them through their fears and letting them know you care about it and loving them. And you can go to the ohcsystem.com and look at the blogs. There's one called Staying in Front of Your Patients, Making Videos. There's one called um, um, uh, Serving Your Patients. Really good one to watch. But, you know, again, this is what we're doing to make it possible for you to be here and have the least chance of exposure. You know, we're wiping stuff down, and one person in the waiting room, you can sit in your car, we'll text you, and we're wearing masks, and you wear masks, you come in and wash your hands and your gloves and all that kind of stuff, like whatever it is that you're doing. But ask this question, with all that said, do you think you got a better chance of being exposed at the grocery store, getting gas, or in my office, right? Much less chance in my office. Look at all the things that we're doing to help. And then it's risk versus reward, right? The risk of going to get gasoline, the risk of going to the grocery store or whatever, the reward of being a bad host. We want you to be a bad host. So my conversations are all about empowering you to be the best host that you can be. Well, the worst host that you can be, the best immune system that you can have, versus talking about the fear of the virus. Okay? Let them know you're opening up extra times for friends and family. We're here for you. Okay? Let me see. I'm looking at my notes right here. I did talk about that. Yep, I talked about that. What should you be doing with your extra time? Prepare for the future. That's what you should be doing. If you're in your office, or you're out of your office, if you're in your office and you have slower times, train with your team. Train, and get ready for the onslaught. When you train, if you don't have a manual and video on everything, now is the time. People tell me all the time, I'd love to find the time to do it, but I just can't find the time. Well, you got it now, okay? The other thing is, you know, work on yourself, work on your communications. Our program, at the time of this recording, my $3,600 communications program that I just spent 400 hours revamping, and it is killer. It is 3.0. It just came out. And it's, well, anyhow, normally that's $3,600. We're doing that for $97 right now for access to it. You have full access to it. And then assuming you're digging it and you want to continue on with it, it's $97 a month. But it's not like I'm giving you a module and then you got to wait a month to get another module. It's all right there. There's 15 hours of content right there. So if you want to learn how to communicate with your patients in a different way, gosh dang it, please take advantage of it. I promise you it will not stay this price. This is my life's work. I got the Lifetime Achievement Award from Pat and Chris for my life's work right here. So I'm just doing it because of these difficult times. Truthfully, that's why I'm doing that. So you want to check that out, please do. And it's not going to stay that price. So if you happen to hear this in a couple of months and it's not, it is what it is. Also ask yourself, what could you focus on extra at this time? Marketing, reviewing different techniques, learning something new you always wanted to learn, nutrition, there's tons of online courses. Sharpen your axe. Take the time to become a master. I've been talking to my docs about new patients. If you haven't connected the nervous system to health and the immune system, start now. Get them to understand it now. Then give special offers, right? Your pandemic special kind of thing. If you do pain marketing, man, definitely do pain marketing. People still have pain, but change your basic marketing to specific to this time during these stressful times, right? So many of us are in more pain. We're staying open for you. We're making it safe for you, right? Prepare for when you get out of lockdown if you're in lockdown. Prepare for when people are feeling more comfortable. I was just talking to, I was just talking to a couple of my docs about Ollie Ollie Oxenfree. So have you ever heard of Ollie Ollie Oxenfree? When I was a kid, and I know it was a long time ago, we used to play hide and seek, and we would say Ollie Ollie Oxenfree, and that meant that I can't find whoever's left, so you can come out and you're safe, right? Game's over. You can come back. So, but I asked somebody else recently, and they just looked at me like I was nuts, and they had never heard of that before. But have some kind of fun play on words for when things do open up and it's safe to come back. It just popped into my head, Jaws. And again, you guys probably haven't ever seen Jaws, so forget it. Whatever, you guys have to figure that one out on your own. I also have been talking to my doctors about recognizing that this may go longer than we expect. I was just talking to my doc in Singapore, and they just got all the way to June. They're locked down until June. We just got moved from May 3rd to May 15th, and it's looking like that's going to go out definitely past that, because they're wanting 2 weeks of flattened curve and blah blah blah. So this is probably going to go on for a while. With that said, stay in front of your people. They're going to be over it. In fact, they are now. We're having lots of docs where people are starting to come back, just like going, this is ridiculous, right? I'm coming back. So make sure that they know all the things you're doing to keep them safe. Let them know why they want to see you, the whole conversation we just had earlier. Again, soon people are going to be coming back. Talk with them about preparing themselves for the next wave of this. Is there going to be a next wave come winter, fall, assuming things slow down in the summer like most respiratory viruses? Yeah, like if you knock down the peak, you widen it, right? If you've been watching any of these epidemiologists, every one of them is talking about what we know to be true. Oh, until enough people have been exposed, you're going to keep, it's just, that's how it is. So people are going to keep getting exposed. And ask them, who will you be when you get exposed? Who will you be? Now's the time to build your health. Now's the time to build your immune system. Talk host, talk health, talk, if you do nutrients, obviously anything that you can do. Use the social proof from Robert Cialdini, the social proof that everybody's coming back, right? Did you happen to see that April 17th Stanford study? It showed that the number of coronavirus infections in Santa Clara County could be 50 to 80 times higher than officially confirmed. 50 to 80 times. I was talking to Dr. Liu today about this, and they wrote it down. They said 50 to 80%. No, man, 50 to 80 times. So and here's a question I would ask patients. So did you hear the Stanford study? And they just did one 2 days ago out of Los Angeles and USC. They said 25 to 55 times higher. But here's the question. If the number of people who have this is 50 to 80 times higher than we thought, then the death rate must be what? Right? Let them think, well, if 50 to 80 times more people have it, then the death rate must be 50 to 80 times less than we thought it was, right? There's 2 studies now showing that instead of a 4.1% death rate that they were all afraid about, it's like 0.2, 0.25, just like a regular flu. They found that all these people had it. They never knew they had it. They've got the antibodies to it, right? If you haven't watched Dr. John Ioannidis, Loannidis, he has a great perspective. He's an epidemiologist out of Stanford. It's a decent school, right? And if you look up perspectives on the pandemic, update 4/17/20, watch that. Get an idea of what these epidemiologists are saying. It's wild. So look, if you're doing that stuff, let them know we're doing the best we can, make it safe for you. Talk about the immune system. You're going to have, let people know the social proof that people are coming back. People are asking us about family and friends. Can we get our family and friends in? And yes, we're doing whatever we can to be there for you. So I can't recommend enough that you start to have those kinds of conversations. So gosh, I hope that helps. I know that was long and I apologize for that, but I just don't have time to separate all these things out and do all that. But I hope you found value in it. Again, for the next month or two, we're going to keep my communications program at $97 per month. Come in and leave when you like. No commitment to a certain period of time. You also get private Facebook page live group coaching sessions where talk to me, email support directly with me. I literally just got off the phone with the new doc that I'm going to start working with. And it was so sweet that he got a little bit choked up and said, I can't tell you how much I appreciate what you've been doing for us. Because it seems like a lot of people are all about what can I get from you right now. And you actually seem to be giving a lot of great content. And he was very aware of my program, the $3,600 program. And he said, wow, man, I've been watching that for a while. And it's really 97. I was like, yeah, it is. So I appreciate that kind of response. Every once in a while, I get stinky emails from people when I'm really just trying to do the best I can to help you all out. So I hope that you value it. In fact, if you felt like sending me a nice email, I'd sure appreciate that. That'd be great. So I hope that helps. You might want to watch this a couple of times, and I do hope you will check out that on-demand program. The link to my program, the coaching program, is the Optimal Health Coaching System.com. Just go there and you'll see it and you can sign up for it and get going on it. That's the Optimal Health Coaching System.com. And again, the on-demand program is the ohcsystem.com/yes webinar. Hope that helps. As always, much love and aloha. Bye, gang.